of your speech, Dick, was
Here and there.
here and there, Dick Bratt. Dick Bratt here and there.
Yeah, let's do it. Thanks. Here and there. I got back Monday from, well, a week from Monday, a week before Monday, from Miami and a cruise to Roatan and Belize, Bahamas, and here and there. Well, here we have in Idaho a fella telling his two little kids to walk 10 miles to find his mother, and of course one of them freezes to death. There in Miami, 9 days ago when I was there, it was 85 degrees. Just very nice. It seems like life is on your side when the weather is not telling you, go inside and get under your covers. Don't come out until May. What I'm going to share with you is some things about my trip, and I thought I'd relate them to an article I found, How to Be Optimistic Even If Times Are Tough. And there's some guidelines there, and I won't tell you how many because I may have to cut this speech short. First one says, be grateful for what you have. We took a little tour of Belize. A woman said, we all work very hard here. If you don't work, you don't eat. We make about $60 a month. So it's something to be grateful for. We make a little more than $60 a month. Before we got to Belize, we went to Roatan, and that is really basically the third world, and even more reason for us to be grateful. Second thing we can do to be optimistic is do something kind for others. You know, when we do something for others, we're usually doing it for ourselves also, and we're definitely profiting from it if we're interested in it. What I did was plan our trip, and I used Hotwire and got a bargain, I thought, on airfare, rental car. There was a choice. I said I wanted to go to Miami. I wanted a hotel near the airport. They said 4-star hotel near the airport, $80. It's another $13 for taxes. It turned out to be the Hilton Airport, where you look down from the hotel at the private lake, and just a beautiful place. In fact, I saw somebody there. I said, "Is that Don Imus?" This fellow said, "It sure looks like him." So if it's good enough for Don, I guess it's good enough for me. One other thing that was a highlight of my wife's trip, she's just terrified of water. I tell her, if you can put your face in the water and not breathe in, you can swim. But she doesn't trust me enough to do that. But for her daughter-in-law bought her a chance to swim with the dolphins. Told her that the water would be waist deep. Well, you went out on this ledge. You're basically out there in the ocean. But it was the thrill of her life, hanging onto the dolphin. They put her on this board, and the dolphin pushed her in and out onto the fins and pulled her in. And so she again, my daughter-in-law did something for herself and something for my wife. Communicate positively is another thing we can do. There was a bus driver, had a tour in Miami, and the guy was all positive. He said, this is the second banking capital in the world. Out next to New York, we have the most banks for the most money. It's probably due to drug trade and crimes in South America, but the point was that he was looking at the positive. He said, Miami's part of the Everglades, and this wonderful fresh water flows through the Everglades. It's not a swamp because it's got fresh moving water, about a half a mile an hour. And there's an aquifer underground, and that brings wonderful water to Miami. Well, they carved Miami out of the swamp. They can't expand it without destroying the Everglades. They're not going to do that. He said they put chlorine in that water. They basically make it taste terrible. But it's the law. They do what they're supposed to do. So it was kind of an interesting thing. He put a positive spin on everything, and I congratulated him. I said, that's really refreshing to hear, rather than everything's going to hell, which would be also easy to say. 70% of people in Miami speak Spanish, and you know, he was cool with that. He wasn't complaining, you know. And people, of course, very, very nice people. Being positive, you know, even if something just want to turn adversity into opportunity. Sometimes just the way you look at things. I brought a book to read on the trip, Smirnoff for the Soul. He used an example. He said, you know, you look at something negatively. He says, Viagra, $10 a pill. He says, on the other hand, $60 a year, it's not that bad. I found some people trying to turn adversity into opportunity. We saw them from our ship. The captain turned this huge ship around to pick up some people. They had left Cuba 8 days earlier. They had only gone about 45 miles, so they weren't doing very well. And he said if they hadn't seen them, you know, if it got dark, they wouldn't have seen them and just gone by them. And they basically have to call the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard will they'll end up probably back in Cuba. But he said, we can't hide these people. You know, the people said, no, don't tell anybody. Well, we've got 2,400 passengers and 1,100 crew members. And if they don't tell anybody, they'll quarantine the boat. They'll put these 1,100 people out of work. So they just couldn't do it. It was kind of funny. Some humor comes from not hearing right. They said they had 5 mangoes left. That's all they had for food. I thought they said 5 bagels. Jewish Cubans? Yeah, they wandered in the desert for 40 years. What, to get from Egypt to Israel? What is it? A block and a half? Anyway. Think only positively about yourself, your life, and your values. I found this shirt on one of the islands there in the Bahamas. It says, no problem, it's Bahamas, no problem. I told my wife I need $20. Don't have it. My son, $20. No. So I had to go back to the ship with everybody, came back. I had a gambling slip for $80, got $20, got the shirt. And if I hadn't got that shirt, I would have, everybody else getting shirts the rest of the trip or losing money gambling. I said, oh yeah, that's wonderful. So, you know, you got to care for yourself a little bit. Let me close almost on time by saying that another thing is to live in the present. I had a little counter and I was counting magic moments. I'd spin the slot machine, it would come up. I wouldn't win, but I'd say, oh, almost won. I had like 500 almost won for $80. I mean, this wasn't bad. So let me close by saying that the surest way to find happiness, whether it's across town or across the world, is to bring it with you. And we went to the Macaroni Grill in Miami. Wonderful. There's a Macaroni Grill here. There's a hot sun in Miami. Here, I was at the movies today. They had a hot hand dryer. Nice and hot. Pretty much the same here as Miami. Mr. Toastmaster. Well, I couldn't figure out where to put that into the speech.
Perfect.
Yeah, enough already, huh?